Okay, just hold on.
Alright guys, and we are live. We are live. Wednesday 23rd. Keegan, Javen, how's
Cool.
it going?
Tasties. How's that
Yeah,
sound?
that's beautiful. That's good.
Is it better now?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, cool.
Morning, gents. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Ian's got a bad hair day, but he's gonna fix up his hair and be on soon. Alright.
Just let me blow dry.
Yeah, it's just blow dry quick. We'll get him on now. How's everyone doing this morning? Everyone well in the chat? Good morning. Good morning. Alright guys, so mic checks have been done. The guys in the chat, if you can just let me know how the volume is, if you guys are happy with it. Jeremy, good morning. Liam, morning. Mo, music's good. Morning everyone. Music is good. Alright. Just want to sort my charts out quickly and then we're going to do our daily rundown. And then from there, let's see if we can actually execute this morning and try and get some positions. Just want to make sure everything is set up here the way I want it.
Well, this time around we might get that cheeky little gold entry of how it is now.
Keegan did promise a gold entry for us. Alright.
Well, this time we're going to play nicely. We called it perfectly yesterday, and this time we actually hold in the exact same place. So who knows? Maybe good things happen twice, and we can take literally the same trade.
Okay guys, gonna start off the day. Firstly, just checking the economic calendar. Keeks did mention we've got some PMIs coming out today, so quite a bit of red folders, especially for the Eurozone. That's at 10 o'clock, so it's just something to watch out for. We've got some German PMIs coming out in the next hour, and then obviously the Eurozone PMIs, and then also 10:30, so quite a big stack of red folder events. And then later this afternoon we've got the US PMI, so it could be a volatile session. Obviously we want volatility, we want price to move, so not a bad thing, but just something to note that when we enter, and especially going into a news event, if we are entering, potentially just waiting for spreads to calm down before we enter. So starting off the DXY, we already mentioned our weekly bias is bullish due to the fact that we closed bullish. We already filled that weekly wick, and I also mentioned that we can potentially push up all the way to 104.22 if we really start seeing some momentum. On the daily candle, yesterday, beautiful candle close. We closed above most recent area of resistance. And what I want to see now is looking left. We've got this area here to contend with. So let's just mark that out, 103.62. That was the previous flat body resistance. So just something to look out for. But I am going bullish on the day. We also have that bullish wick fill potentially to the upside. And some context on the lower time frames, 5 minutes already spiking Asia lows, already trading back above it. So I would obviously say I want this to be our floor for the session, I don't necessarily want price to come back below the Asia lows. I actually want price to come above the Asia highs and then potentially clear this flat body area. Just want to mark this out, flat body daily resistance for us to monitor.
Yeah, Chris, just to add quickly to the dollar, one thing I will note that was a key thing for me was the daily candle actually closed above all the other previous daily candles of the dollar.
I agree. It's technically a breakout, so high probability we can continue higher, but if not, then we change our bias later on. But for now, I'm gonna go bullish on the day on the dollar. Euro USD, we don't trade. GBP USD, we just mark out Asia highs, Asia lows. Let's quickly jump to the weekly. So again, as mentioned, GBP USD very tricky because this can still come down to break structure. I also mentioned I actually want to follow up bullish weekly candle before I can start looking for us to come and retest these highs. But however, we already had a test in this area, so weekly I said neutral because it can go either way. If this goes bearish on the week and we close something like that, breaking structure, next week is very easy in terms of bias. But for this week, the weekly, I'm remaining neutral. And then on the daily, let's quickly jump down to what we've got on the daily. So daily time frame, we can obviously see this area right here. We just mark this out, prior support, resistance. We've tapped in multiple times into this zone yesterday, creating this massive top wick, closing bearish. Also what I like is due to the fact that, look at the body, I'm looking at the body of the candle, potential little break of structure, so I'm going to go bearish on the day. And for context on the 5 minute, let's quickly look at where we are. So already spiking Asia highs, already failing at the daily pivot. So I want to say I don't want to see price getting above here. If it does, I want something like this potentially, take out the session highs or pre-market highs and then come back below and we can potentially start looking short. I do however need to note that the accumulation distribution, I would need this to start trading below the 200 for me to confirm. And I do think that this could be a very nice short opportunity on GU. GBP, USD ZAR, obviously we've got the bricks. Keegs, have you been following it? To be honest, I haven't been following it. I honestly don't know what's going on there.
I must say, I've been following it a little, but honestly at this point in time, it's lots of big promises, but as I say, nothing that's going to affect the market until it's obviously put in stone. So at the moment, it's big talk, but nothing has been put into action.
So coming back to what we talked about at the start of the week with the 19 Rand level being a key level and basically a swing point. So we've been trading lower from there. Yesterday closing bearish, breaking structure. If you look left with me right here, we broke that support, closed bearish, already filled yesterday's bottom wick. So interesting to note, but also trading into this potential support area, past resistance, future support. So gonna go with bearish on the day, and let me just see where we are with our ranges. So accumulation, distribution, all bearish since Asia. We are however trading back into the Asia range, and I would say a very nice position for me would be shorts off the Asia high or even potentially the daily pivot. And the reason I say that is because that's also where our daily pivot is, Asia high. And if we can remain below the 200 on the accumulation distribution, very nice potential position for me there on USD ZAR. Gold, Keegan's baby. Let's quickly look at what we've got going on here on the weekly. We are bearish on the week. Weirdly enough, we have mentioned that we potentially want to see price pushing all the way back up to these 1990, 1908 levels to then potentially continue lower, but we can pull back for 2 weeks. So we can close bullish this week. Next week we can close bullish, retest that zone, and then the third week actually start trading back down again. So still bearish on the week in terms of the daily. Yesterday closing bullish, this current daily candle, no bottom wick. Very interesting. Just looking left with me right here, we've got some flat body supports. I'm just gonna mark that out for us. Flat body resistance. Keeks, also no bottom wick on the daily on your side, or is it a Wanda thing? But I've got literally no bottom wick on gold.
Yeah, I've also got no bottom wick.
Okay, so just keep that in the back of your minds, guys, when trading this. So no bottom wick. Technically, we've already filled the wick. For the guys that know me, I love a wick fill. I feel this is easy money. If we're closing bullish the previous day and there's a nice wick, I know we're gonna come and fill it. So technically bullish on the day, but the thing now is no bottom wick. Bullish, and I'm just gonna make a note here. No bottom wick daily. So just be reminded of that there's no bottom wick. 1907, that's a level we've been talking about quite a bit this week. Asia highs around about 1902. We're already trading above the Asia highs. It is looking bullish. And let's see, Asia lows right here. Gold is going to be a tricky one for me personally, but we'll see. Keeks and Javon looks pretty dialed in on gold. They have been smashing gold this week, so I'm going to trust on their analysis to pull us through on gold. And then GJ on the weekly as well. We already filled that wick. On the weekly, we are bullish on the weekly. On the daily time frame, now this is going to be an easy trade today in terms of the failed breakout. So you see how this daily candle broke structure, never continued higher after breaking Monday's high. So I'm going to go bearish on the day, and let's see where we are on the 5 minutes. Let's quickly see where we are on the 5 minutes right there. So that's my Asia highs. Just want to bring in my Asia lows. Still looking bullish though. Daily pivot sitting here at 186, but personally for me, I wouldn't necessarily look for any buys on this. I will purely be looking for sells. So if we can push up to the daily pivot, also a round number 186, and we can do something like this, like a potential fake out scenario, then I will be executing from that short, but not necessarily keen on the longs on GJ. USD JPY, similar thing on the weekly. Weekly candle basically 90% filled. We are bullish on the weekly. Let's see where we are on the daily. Similar thing, still stuck in this range. I'm gonna go bearish on the day. Also no top wick, very little top wick, so I'm gonna go neutral on the day due to the fact that we've got little to no top wick. I want to see some liquidity being taken on the day. So no top. If we had a nice top wick, easy to look for shorts, but also we've got this daily range that we need to contend with. 5 minute. Let's quickly look at where we are with the 5 minute. All right. So currently trading at the weekly pivot, accumulation distribution showing a lot of bearish pressure. Pivot above the daily, above the Asia highs. So I will look for shorts either from the Asia high or potentially from the daily pivot on USD JPY. Wouldn't necessarily look long unless we really extend past the daily pivot. Then I would consider longs, but for now I'm actually gonna change this to bearish and not neutral. I want to see us go bearish on USD JPY. US 30 almost done with the analysis, guys, and then we can jump straight into the comments and see where we are. Weekly we are bearish. I don't know why this flipped back to bullish. Weekly bearish also, as I mentioned, quite a key zone for us, because either we're going to find support somewhere this week or we're going to come back into the range, and that is going to be quite bearish then for next week. Daily time frame, as mentioned yesterday, we were neutral, and I told you guys we can go either way because we're still trading. It's basically called the inside day, where we never took out the previous day's high or low. So one thing to note here, however, is we did close back inside of the range. So I'm gonna have to go with bearish on the day, and I actually need to mark out this level for us right here, 34,430, and failed breakout zone that we need to monitor a little bit later on. And potentially what we can see come all the way back up here, retest and fail. This one comes out of Larry Williams' playbook. In the rare case that we come all the way up and we actually take out, this was Monday's high, this thing can project all the way up back here. This is called the smash play, where if price has been trending down like this and all of a sudden you get this massive candle breaking that level there. So I'm actually gonna just mark that out for us as the smash zone. So do not try and short. If we start breaking above there, you will get smashed. So let's just mark that out and actually put an alert there, because you will get run over. 34, what is that? 34,650. 34,650. That is the right, but bearish on the day, 5 minutes. Let's quickly look where we at in terms of the 5. So currently accumulation distribution giving me like a neutral signal, no clear bias on that. Asia lows here, traded straight up from the Asia lows, not manipulating the Asia lows, and then our Asia highs are here. I'm gonna zoom in now for us to. So Asia high, also the daily pivot slightly bullish. So I would say let's monitor Asia highs, potential retest all the way up to 34,430. But I think if we can hold Asia highs in the daily pivot, we could push up to this failed breakout zone and later on come back down. Something similar to what we had yesterday. All of this just sweeping liquidity to the upside, and from there sell off. You can see similar thing, that was our daily pivot right there. That was also our Asia high. So could we get exactly the same event playing out, pushing up potentially into the R1 to then sell off? Could be, let's see. But potential buy opportunities from the Asia highs and Nasdaq. Let's quickly run through Nasdaq and then we can finish up the analysis 10 minutes before open. Bearish on the week. We did mention that we've got this prior area of potential support. Only tested it once last week, haven't tested it this week. Still bearish on the weekly, even though we are pushing up. Yesterday's daily candle, potential resistance being formed here. And why I say potential, because if I see a candle like this, it's showing me that there's massive implied volatility coming up. So today is going to be quite a big day in terms of movement. You can literally bookmark this on the stream and come back tomorrow and say, flip Chris, let's say it's going to be a volatile day today. So what I'm thinking is potentially push all the way back up. I don't want to necessarily see it break yesterday's high. And if we start breaking yesterday's low, this could really drive down. The flip side of it is that this resistance area being formed here, we can potentially come today and actually have a breakout scenario where we break through the support area, through this resistance area, and actually get a closure like this. So it's a two-edged sword. Then technically it's a change of character or a minor break of structure. But I am going to go with bearish on the day, keeping in mind that we can potentially continue higher, and it is going to be a volatile day in terms of what Nasdaq is going to do. Let me just clear that out for us, clean these charts up a bit. Asia highs currently trading above the Asia highs, also above the daily pivot. 80 is marginally trying to cross bullish, not sold on that. So I think if we come back inside of the Asia range and back below the daily pivot, this thing can run lower. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Asia highs, daily pivot. As you can see, 80 starting to try and cross bullish, but from yesterday's sell-off, it has started to turn bearish, starting to trade down, and the majority of price was trading below the 200. So currently bearish on that. So Asia highs as well, that's what we'll need to monitor. And that's the analysis, guys. That's what we'll be looking out for. Keeks, Hein, Jamin, if you guys have anything to add, feel free, but
I think Chris is just one of those days for us. I'm just gonna have to sit on my hands and wait for the market to print out some price action, because at this point in time, I don't see any opportunities.
I feel like there is some opportunities in terms of how I trade. This looks like gold to me. Trading like at pivots, daily pivots being above the Asia high or below the Asia high. That for me is like my A+ setups that I look for, and I think it can potentially be a good day trading wise.
Yeah, on my side, for example, obviously with gold, it is a literally key point for me. I honestly was actually even in the trade currently, but I closed out in a little bit of profits just because, as we with those things like that bottom, I don't like, and especially the fact that yes, we are closing the last 3 days technically bullish. That can just be the retracement, but the fact we do need to go quite down again, especially if you look at the dollar candle as well. At least retrace a bit into that candle, meaning we can go into a bit of rejection. So when you are looking at gold and we are in the 4 hour, we could get things where the candle can go bearish, but we can get quite maybe a big spike, even possibly all the way to 1912. But in saying that, then again, even if it does retrace and close at above a 1905, as we've previously mentioned, then I would actually stay and go long. So at this point in time, as Hein said, I think I'd rather just go sit back and just watch this one play out.
I think on gold as well, Keith, I don't know if you agree with me as well. So in terms of how I see the market and how I trade, we obviously broke daily structure a few days ago, breaking those lows. So what I'm personally looking at, or what comes into my strategy, is definitely as soon as we break a low or a high, we can start maybe looking for when the retracement is going to actually just start to the upside. Then again, obviously catch the end of the retracement to the push down. Because I'm overall bearish on gold. I think it still needs to go tap into that 1870 area. But I definitely think we can maybe start some type of retracement to the upside now.
Yeah, no, I do agree that it can be retracement, and I agree with what you say. But for me personally, again, with going long, especially going long, big scheme of things, I do see gold honestly going to that 1870, even 1865 area before we have that indefinite turnaround for quite a while and going long. And until that happens, I think it's possibly just going to be quick moves with volatility, things with news interfering, stuff like that, where it's just going to be manipulation.
Yeah, no, definitely, I agree with you.
But as we say, that's the 1-to-1 to just hit TV.
I think I have to agree with you, because you are the gold top.
On my side, personally, I agree with Keegan. We could, and behind, we could see some upside on gold up until 1907-ish. Chris, if you can just go on gold quickly on the 1 hour time frame.
Perfect, I'll do that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe just zoom out a little bit. Okay, so you'll see there where that white line is of the flat body resistance. Okay, perfect. So that zone, I consider that as liquidity. So I see price go there and snatch those buy stops and then retrace back towards the downside, towards the Asian highs, Asian lows, and then potentially see a rise again. And then still also waiting on NZD in same setup from yesterday, but it didn't go to my zone. So we're still looking at around 87.150, but eyeing the ideal level of 87.250.
I'm gonna get NZD JPY now. I just want to get my terminal ready to click some buttons here.
Just while Chris is looking for that, obviously I just have to go look at that part, but you guys also will just notice that on that gold trade where we were talking about it, we'd love to go short, and my bearish is it is a bearish bias, but keeping in mind these highs are getting higher and higher on the market, and it's kind of squeezing the markets. So even though that daily resistance is at 1904 and 1905, the Asia high is literally at 1902. So it's going to constantly be ricocheting off the two until one of them are going to give.
Chris, are you currently on gold there? Okay, perfect. Can I ask you a favor quickly? I want to show everyone on the chat something as well quickly. If you could just go on your line chart real quick.
Line chart.
Yes.
Give me 2 seconds. I just want to give Caitlin my phone quickly here. Somebody calling there. Gonna jump on my line chart now. Line chart. So let me just move you X. Yes, line chart.
Okay, and then maybe throw up your trend line tool. And then
so again, trend line tool.
Yes.
Okay.
So then you would see that. Okay. I would say measured at the top. Okay, so zoom in a bit more. Okay, no, that's a bit too far. Wait, can I come to you quickly? Can I come to you quickly?
No, what do you want to do? Just tell
We
us.
can even just annotate on the screen.
Okay. Go to you. Okay, wait. I think I can annotate on the screen. Okay, I'm gonna make a small line there. My phone's so small, but check that red line I drew over there
Yeah.
on the white line. Okay,
So you
if
want
you
a
can
trend?
draw-
You want a top trend line?
Yes, draw a top trend line, please.
Okay.
Draw it from that from that zone I annotated, please. Yes, more or less there, and then clone it.
Yeah, I think it's on the wrong. So it's doing channels. Yeah. Right. So yeah.
And then, okay, so that's a perfect way to draw a perfect channel, right? And then now if you see that it is an ascending channel. So yesterday price moved up very quickly during New York session. So buyers, this is a retail buying pattern. So if they tap that low on the trend line, people are gonna buy. But like he said as well, once they hit that zone 1907 and they don't take profit, it's going to snatch them all the way, because then they're going to have to target that liquidity at lows of the trend line and take out all the buyers who tap in. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, guys, if you're joining, we don't sell you anything. We just ask you to like the stream and subscribe. We really appreciate everyone being on this on the live. So just a like, and you can even leave a comment on the stream if you're enjoying it. Feedback has been good so far, and let's see if we can execute today.
Just a quick question there for Jevon. With the trading there, will you use trend lines in your strategy, or is that just extra confluency?
So no, I wouldn't say I use them. I use them as a guide. So for instance, if I see that this is what a retail trader would be doing, it's kind of easy to see where they would be trapped, and then once that trap actually happens, then you execute according to that. It's like basically you acting as the market maker, if that makes sense.
That's cool.
You can see the market's getting quite volatile following or leading up to Euro. Is it what is PMI?
Yeah, Euro PMI comes up now, what, 27 minutes?
I don't know. I see the PMI comes out in, where are we now? What time is it now? 3 minutes past 9. In about 12 minutes, and then we've got German. So we've got French PMI at 9:15, and then we've got German PMI at 9:30. And then again, flash manufacturing PMI at 10. Wow. So Chris, if I had to ask you, what are your tips when it comes to days like this? Because I mean, it's seldom that we have days so filled up with all these news events. What's your point of view on trading on these types of days?
Sorry, Oaks, my mic was muted, so everybody missed that. But you guys caught it in a Zoom. So basically what I said is I'm not against trading fundamentals. I feel like fundamentals basically drive price to certain levels, then to either fake out the retail market and continue the opposite direction, or what it's going to do is it's going to set up the daily move. So high volatility, if you're on the right side of the market, some great moves, but I am not an advocate of saying like right before the news, okay gents, let's buy now because we're potentially expecting a bullish push. I literally wait. If I'm trading news, I wait for the first 5-minute candle to close. And I think geeks, you all have seen it in the office. If we traded news, how we wait for that first 5 minutes. And if we get, say for instance, a 5-minute wick fill candle, we execute. If not, no execution.
Yeah, if I can just add to what you said there, Chris, like, I think in the past, like a lot of people, for example, will sit out news events, obviously, because of the volatility. But as traders, I think we want that volatility because that's where you're going to catch the moves, obviously. But again, with like you're adding like the whole journaling and stuff like that, I think with trading, again, it comes down to probabilities. We want to trade the highest probabilities to put the favor or to put everything in our favor. So, for example, something as small as like if you've got a more successful win rate in the New York session and you know the whole day is going to be filled with news and you got 2 bullets to risk, then take those 2 bullets in the session you're most successful in. Don't waste them in another session, if that makes sense. I don't know what your thoughts on that.
I agree. Like if you, either way, if you've set like my limit as well, 2 bullets, if I've used my 2 bullets, I'm done. Like Keegan, I have to respect that Keegs the other day used his 2 bullets. There was another setup that actually the third time played out, and he didn't risk it. He was like, and I think I've told this to Neil as well, that's also in the chat. I told him, like, if we make rules and we break them, why have rules in the first place? Like, then just have no rules. Trade how you feel on every other day. Like if I want to risk, say, 5% on the day, tomorrow I want to risk 2, then don't make rules. But if you are going to make rules, try and stick to them. Otherwise, it's not really a trading rule or a trading plan at all.
Touching on what Keegan just said there, Chris, on the whole journaling thing. Personally, actually a personal question for myself. What do you feel would be the best software for journaling? Because I mean, obviously you can do it in like an Excel spreadsheet. But I mean, you've got things like TradeZilla, you've got TradeKeep, MyFXBook, which are actually great tools. And I don't think people actually realize how much information you can get from these software. I think TradeKeep and TradeZilla are paid. But I think MyFXBook has a free version. What would you say would be the best software to actually do this? Because at the end of the day, I feel it's a bit better than just, journaling on an Excel spreadsheet.
I think it comes back down to cost. So I've actually looked at TradeZilla. It's quite expensive, or not. It's relatively expensive in terms of if you're getting a TradingView Pro subscription. If you have to get TradeZilla as well. So for guys starting out, maybe that's not the right way to go, because then with all of your subscriptions before you even started trading, it's like 1,000, 1,500 Rand. But I think if you're starting out having a nice, say, Excel spreadsheet, I think the big thing for me when I journal is to actually take screenshots. So for instance, about, I think it was a year or 2 ago, I went through like a little bit of a rough patch with my trading, and I would have actually journaled. Let's say for instance, I bought the Asia lows, this was my stop, I took partials, say at 11 pips, I took full TP there. I actually journaled everything with like text on my charts, and I also put it into a spreadsheet. to visually see what my winners look like and to visually see what my losers look like. So if you don't have the cash, I would say go spreadsheet, but like I mentioned, my FX book has got like a free version. But TradeZilla looks good, Aaron. I don't know if you've subscribed, but it really looks good.
I actually subscribe to all three of them just to actually quickly check, what it's like, because they all have a free trial. So I kind of feel, like TradeZilla definitely is probably my favorite. The information you get and just the ease of access of the actual software. TradeKeep is also really cool. My FX book also, I mean, at the end of the day, they all do the same thing. I think when it comes to ease of, that's what separates the two. Convenience. So I think TradeZilla and TradeKeep obviously are the best, and they are paid. And then my FX book, you have a few ads there. So, I mean, my FX book does look like a bit of a cheap program in my opinion, but I mean, it does the job, so there's no problem with that. Sorry, Chris, just one more thing. I was actually chatting to Keegs last night. So for those people that don't trade with indicators and that don't need a TradingView Pro account, because at the end of the day, we only use TradingView Pro accounts for back testing and indicators. So FX Replay, which is also about $35 a month, is an insane tool for back testing. I actually subscribed to it last night and tested it out a bit. So for back testing, it actually changes the game, especially when it comes to practicing for these funded challenges. So
what is it called? FX Replay?
It's amazing. Have you never heard of it?
No.
So FX Replay uses original TradingView charts. So it uses TradingView's plugin, and then on the FX Replay software, you backtest as far back as you want, but you can only backtest one pair at a time. So you create a session only backtesting one pair at a time. But then what you can do is you can put in your initial balance. So let's say you're practicing for 200K. So then you can put in 200K, and then instead of on TradingView where you do paper trading with like contract sizes, you actually do it exactly like what you would do in like live situation. That's why most of these podcasts where like we were talking about Ethan's podcast that where traders come on and pass the challenge. So they use FX Replay. So you can then go and practice passing challenges on FX Replay, which is a really great tool, and it's a lot better than back testing on trading.
And it's only $35 a month.
Correct. I do have the paid version, so if you want me to show you what that looks like, then
please, when you're in the office again. We're gonna put potentially even, let's say, okay, not this week. This week's a little bit hectic, but next week we're gonna do some backtesting sessions as well. Potentially live stream that and also upload it. So it will be a separate folder, so it will be a live, but we will be purely backtesting. And let's say after the London session, let's call it that quiet set during the market hours, where I would say between 12 and 2, potentially do some backtesting, just show you guys a little bit about how I trade and some ways that we. Right, getting some movement. DXY back at the daily pivot, potentially breaking session lows. As mentioned, I do not necessarily want DXY to come back below here. So if we are trading below here, I would want us to come back above for bullish continuation. Otherwise, if we start extending down and we start rejecting the daily pivot, we could see some bearish momentum coming into the market. So just something to note, 15 minutes before the PMIs. Let's see where we are. Again, guys, feel free to like the streams. That is the only charge we've got. The rest is free 99. We only charge a freemium of $0.0.
By the way, Chris, just because we can't hear it, is the music actually on?
It is on. Let me put it on for you guys.
There we go. There's the jams.
Back in the elevator. Elevator music.
This is what gets me pumped up for the trades.
When guys see you in the gym, they're thinking you're like smashing these hip hop and like R&B tracks. In the meantime, you're listening to this. And you pump like a 190 kg bench.
You know, you actually laugh at that now. Hey? Like, Han and I were talking about this last night. The man's like trying to gym heavy, and he's listening to a bloody podcast.
Who's this? Han?
Han! I said to him, like, all fairness when you're doing cardio, but I mean, I'm not trying to like squat PBs and bench, and I'm listening to some guy tell me his life story.
I was watching Dave Ramsey's podcast last night. I love it.
But what makes it even worse is you'll jump to classical music.
I just check your WhatsApp.
Guys, just give us feedback here, because we had a discussion in the office yesterday. If we get 100 subscribers, Jevin's gonna say his secret sauce strategy.
Is he gonna drop it?
He will drop it if we get 100 subscribers.
Guys, Jamin is like a little secret assassin here in the office. We thought like this man can't trade, and this little market maker sitting here in the office. So I'm actually gonna move my entire setup like behind him. So you'll see me literally sit behind him on the stream so I can see what he's doing. Because he doesn't share it with us. Only like say an hour after he's hit like 4 TPs. It's like, yeah, this gold trade just moving like nice 150 pips. And we're like, dude, what a...
OG J Money.
Little secret assassin, yeah.
Sorry, Chris, how does that mic sound?
Still sounds a little bit hollow. I don't know if the gains are a little bit high on the mic.
Oh.
No, it's very soft.
Not exactly sure what this thing is.
I should maybe get like a nice little mic stand for you, so then you can drop your gains and have like the mic closer to your...
Close to sorry. There's only a few settings on the mic. It's V-Ray, mute, volume, and echo. The echo is turned all the way down.
Good morning, lads. We're just waiting, dude. Literally waiting for that PMIs to come out. Honestly feel it's a little risky entering before the PMIs. I think after the PMIs we can definitely start clicking some buttons here. I was keen for USD ZAR short, but I wanted like a minus structure to form here, like a support level, then like a little retest again, and then a break there to short. But this little cluster you can get hurt in this right here. This can definitely knock your teeth out, so staying away from that. And then USD JPY, I've got my alert set at the Asia highs. So if with news we push up like Asia highs and even daily pivot levels, I'm still gonna look short on this. This music will legit put us to sleep, eh? This is like meditation music.
I was thinking the exact same thing right now.
We'll literally be put to sleep. While we wait for news, let's just see what the sentiment is like. We didn't check if we've got load shedding today. Keith, just ask Caitlin there, do we have load shedding?
Nah, no load shedding.
No load shedding, sweet.
I was actually listening to the news this morning. They were actually talking about how, we need to have more of these BRICS conferences in South Africa, because since that started, we've had the lights on, the robots work, like the whole country pretends like it actually has its shit together.
Putting the best foot forward. Gold retail is still net long 80%. Wall Street is mixed, so that's US 30 Nasdaq. Pound yen retail is net short. Jeez, okay. USD JPY also net short 77%. GBP USD relatively mixed, so retail's getting net long now, 55 to 45%. Interesting.
Chris, all those sentiment analysis over there that you see, are those all retail?
Yeah, so that's basically they get that data from IG Markets. So I think you can also get it on IG Markets, their own website. They actually show you their client positioning, which is quite cool.
There are some softwares that allow you to check the sentiment on institutions as well.
I know of the
That's
one Prime Market Terminal. I have used them in the past, but the only thing is it's all dependent on where you're getting your data from. So IG is obviously big. They're a public listed company. So let's say, for instance, you're getting a feed from a small broker that's got maybe like 10,000 active clients, then it wouldn't necessarily really help you. But if you're getting like a big set of data, Keeks, I'm actually gonna check what those options are doing, those short options we took on gold.
Yeah, I'll actually be interested.
We went short on the weekly option call, eh?
Yeah, short.
No, it's getting clapped. Where is gold on the weekly? Let's just check quickly. Yeah, it's obviously Liam, obviously it will mostly affect the rand, like the ZAR pairs, and then obviously if there's any reference to other countries that are here, for instance China, Russia, Cuba, India, obviously the comments that are made, if it's made reference to South Africa, then it will obviously only affect us, but it wouldn't necessarily have any effect on, for instance, the US dollar, because what happens in South Africa is not going to have any real sentimental effect on what the dollar is doing. We're still emerging markets, so emerging markets don't necessarily affect developed markets, but developed markets do affect emerging markets due to globalization, due to the fact that international trade, all of that. So the global economy has become a lot more intertwined than a few years ago, and I think a very good example of that is what happened in Russia. So what happened in Ukraine and Russia, all of a sudden, like, our cooking oil prices went up, trade went up, inflation went up. So the global economy is so integrated, but what we do, no real net effect on major pairs. Right, 1 minute, Hein, 1 minute before the release.
It's a sell.
It's a sell, it's a sell. I agree. What are we selling?
I think we really put it as Forex funding perspective. All right.
Right, news coming out.
Who's going to take a trade?
Okay, first 5 minutes. Let's see. Basically in line. That was slightly better. German PMI massively lower. Big drop. So that's potentially going to be negative for the Eurozone currencies. Let's see. Pound yen as well coming down. USD JPY as well. I'm just going to put up alert for us on the lows as well. Yeah, at the weekly pivot 145.54. Oh, DXY projectiling back up. Jeez. I traded with a guy years ago talking about the green dildo candles. This is one of them. It's terrible, but okay. Let's see, ideally if we can pull all the way back up. I'm not gonna short this massive news candle. If this candle can pull all the way back up and leave us like a nice bottom wick to fill. USD JPY also breaking lows here. Let's see. Weekly pivot levels. GU, if we can get a nice... Alright, so I want this to pull all the way back up, at least close to the Asia highs. And then I'm going to execute is I'm gonna wait for a tiny little top wick, and on the flip of that candle I'm gonna short it. So 2 minutes left. I want to see this candle pull back, say up until here, and then I will look for potential short opportunities on it.
I see Euro USD gave us a nice little drop. It's almost at my point of interest. Just wanted to go to more or less 1.08100, more or less tap into that zone, and then give me a change of character, displacement, and then I'll look to go long.
This thing literally just wants to die. Let's see, still 1 minute. Maybe we can get a wick. If not, I'm not executing on this candle right here.
Come on, Chris, show us the power of the pivot.
The pivot. You guys know I like a wick fill, but this for me is a... I would love if, say in the last 30 seconds it pulls up to here. Otherwise I'm going to wait for some structure to form. I am not going to execute on like a full candle like this. USD JPY has got a decent... Do I have it on your flip? I don't even have it on my terminal. Let me just get USD JPY on your potential trade here on USD JPY for wick fill. If I can get right on my terminal. Want to first see a top wick being formed, and then on the flip. On the flip, I will be executing on the flip of this candle. I will have sell stops, and the first target is going to be the Asia, not the Asia lows, the bottom wick. Okay,
Naughty.
I'm in, guys. I'm in a short 20 pip stop. I got in on the flip. Why the heck is this music so loud? 20 pip stop. And our first target's going to be this wick fill, and then potentially not a lot in it, but I'll try and go for a 1-to-1 on it. USD JPY. USD JPY executed short on this, and let's see if we can take out this 5-minute candle low. I will be very comfortable with this position. but that is the position we are in. Actually didn't do the disclaimer. Please note that these streams are purely for educational and entertainment purposes only. Do not follow what we do or you will lose money. Please consult your financial advisor before making any financial decisions.
Come back and this man is taking a seat.
Did you miss it?
I didn't push it.
Sorry guys in the chat, just let me know how the music is because it sounds so loud in my ear. Jeez, my stop wasn't even 20. Alright guys, I'm just gonna go for a 1-to-1 on this. If I can get a 1-to-1, I'm happy. I'm gonna wait for this 5-minute candle to close. I'm gonna reduce my stops to about 15 pips. Just gonna reduce it to 15 pips. If it comes back all the way there, we're obviously on the wrong side of the market, but let's see. And once this 5-minute candle closes, after it creates a top wick and starts to flip bearish again, I will actually then move my stops to just above this current 5-minute. But that is the trade we are in. Voice is above the sound. I'm good with it. Sweet. Appreciate the feedback. US 30 at this failed breakout zone, can't really execute, not in line with my plan, but perfect little tap there. We are at S1 145.45. I just want this to close below the half round number 50. If not, we could potentially find support here, but let's see. Still closing bearish, still have a bottom wick to fill, so not necessarily too concerned. If I can get a 1-to-1, I'm happy with that. So let's see. Alright, so top wick, I want to see a top wick potentially all the way up to this half round number 145.50. Tap that, break the lows, and we can flush down to our TP target. And if we start breaking these lows, I will then move my stops to just above this current 5-minute for like a 3-pip stop loss. And then ultimately, if we're running close to target, I will move my stops to break even, making this a risk-free trade. Right, US 30 is starting to die. Gold still holding up. Obviously with bad PMIs, that is a risk off scenario, so gold could potentially rally with the DXY. But let's see. I would want to see USD JPY get through this S1. I'm actually going to go ahead, guys, and move my stops to just above this current 5-minute. Let's make it 5 pips. So reducing stops to just above this current 5. And we're going to give it some room to breathe. Dude, I almost missed the trade. I didn't even have USD JPY on my terminal.
Chris, sorry, I just want to say something here as well. In the background, I'm just quickly busy back testing on this FX replay. I'm just trying it out still. So it looks like you can actually go back as far back as you want, like to the start of like when these charts actually, appeared. So it's not like there's no limitation on this replay.
Is it an online application? Because I know, for instance, if you're doing back testing on bots, for instance, you need to download tick data, and some of that tick data is like 50 gigs, 80 gigs. So is it an online application?
Yeah, it's basically like trading.
Okay, sweet. Alright guys, I ideally want this, even though this is going to close bullish, I want it to close below the half round number. If not, I'm going to move stops to break even. I'll look for re-entries. But we're currently finding some support here at the S1. That is your support 1. So currently finding support already back at break even, but let's see how we close. Not closing below the half round number. Gonna give it a little bit more room to breathe. Let's see. Before I will potentially consider closing. This could still just be a retest of this level right here. And ultimately, after creating the top wick, if we can start flipping bearish again and breaking structure to the downside, we can get our move down. If not, then this was the fake out, but I am still bearish on the day. I still like the shorts. However, I do not want to sit in a trade that's running against me. So let's see, retest happening. Gonna give it some room to breathe. Our stop is reduced from 20 to only 5. So what is this? This is not even, this is like 0.2% here on my account. I'm gonna give it some room to breathe, but I don't want to see it closing back into the Asia range. Then this idea is not valid anymore. So just to give you guys an idea, if we find resistance here and the next 5-minute candle does something like this, I'm closing the position, because then that is a minor break of structure and it's showing me that price is not willing to go down any further. I would want to see price from here actually continue down and break below this S1. So that is the ideal if we're going to continue down. If not, I've seen this happen so many times where price then, this is now a potential resistance area. The next candle comes up, breaks that, and you'll actually see price come all the way back into the Asia range. I'm not going to long it because that is against the order flow that I want to trade. So just putting it out there for you guys. If we get something like that, then we're going to scrap this idea. GBP USD, I'll be monitoring these Asia lows, and even if price pushes up a little bit deeper into the Asia range and then comes back out of it, then I would consider shorts, or I'm going to consider shorts on this weekly pivot if we get a break below here. So we've got support potentially being formed there, and this is our support level there. So a nice little break of structure, and I'll be executing on GU shorts as well. So that is the idea. So UJ, I want to close below S1. Then I think we can have a very nice move to our target. I'm not going to try and leave a runner on this. I'm just going to bag my 1-to-1 and be done with it. So DXY retracing back to that flat body resistance area, also the Asia highs. So for continuation, we want to see DXY holding this level right there, 103.58. USD JPY moving nicely. Let's see if we can get our first TP here on stream. And again, guys, please leave us a like and a subscribe. We appreciate you guys being on the lives.
You know what we must do? We must get like a cool sound.
Yeah,
like
I wanna.
when we have a live trade and we hit TPs, we must play that sound.
Alright guys, as soon as we break these lows, I'm going break even on this trade and making it a risk-free trade for us. And I am going break even on this right now. So stops have been moved to break even, and let's see if we can get our 20 pip target. Nice little 1% gain on the account if we get there. Currently running about, what is this? 12 pips. Yeah, Keys, we must check for a nice sound. I'll get like a online mixer as well, so that we can spam that sound.
Oh, I think it'll be pretty cool.
It will be such class if UJ can just smash through this TP level here. Guys, I'm locking it in right here. 16 pips. 10 minutes before the hourly candle closes, can get a sharp pullback on the hourly, so 16 pips on that. Also, if you look left with me right here, this is a previous area of support. As you can see there, quite a bit of reaction around it, so price can slice through here. You can hold till full TP, but I'm just locking it in right here. Nice little 0.75% gain on the day. And if you were in the chat, just give me a GG there in the chat. Good game on the trade. Basically 19 pips. If you guys can just give us some GGs in the chat. Gonna shift my focus now over to GU for potential shorts, and this is the area, either Asia lows, if I can get a nice engulfing candle right here, or as I mentioned, if we get a nice break of structure here, I'll be executing on GU shorts.
From my side, I'm looking at GJ. It's currently at one of my zones, but the pattern doesn't look very ideal. And if I compare it to GU is almost at my zone. So I think GJ might go to my next zone, which is at 184,500. So once we get to that institutional point and we have a pattern, we need to go long.
Just keep in mind, in the next half an hour, you've got PMR for the pound coming out.
Oh geez, yeah. Good spot. How's this hourly gonna close on GU? Dude, GU has been moving ugly, technically. If you look, or not ugly, it's been making highs, then retracing, making highs. So I think for the order block guys, this most probably was a dream, but in terms of continuation, not necessarily. Alright guys, just be aware we've got 5 minutes for the hourly, and then Keeks also mentioned we've got 30 minutes for the pound PMIs coming out, so just be aware of that. So quite a nice stack of data still coming out, and then basically now in 4 minutes we've got the Euro PMI. So if you're trading any Euro pairs, just be aware of that. Spreads could increase. Javen, you're trying too long here. This is also a weekly pivot that I've got marked out here on GJ.
Yes, on GJ, yes, I want to long it. Also, like the way this day started, it's such a sharp move. You're gonna have to need a retracement back to at least mid of the Asian range. And like I said, there is an institutional point which I'm eyeing. So yeah, just following the pattern.
So personally for me guys, if we get the 80 is still bearish for me on GJ. If we can say for instance have something like this where we take out this low there and we come back and we break the structure right here, I will execute longs from this weekly pivot. If not, very tricky situation currently there for me. GU is quite clear. 80 flipped bearish. I would technically like for this to push all the way back up, I would say to Asia mid-range, somewhere here. That would be the ideal, and then to potentially create some sort of support here at the Asia lows to then continue lower. But not going to execute now 2 minutes before the hourly candle closes. And then if we start breaking the weekly pivot and we've got something like this, I will execute from here. It's worth a punt. And that we can potentially even swing all the way down here. So there's a potential of a swing trade of about 70 pips. For some that's not a swing trade, but for me that is a swing trade. Back to the weekly S1. So I'm very interested in gold at this stage. The 80 is flipped bearish. We're starting to diverge in terms of the price action. So 1905, I'm going to set alerts there. And if we can start seeing some rejections off that level, I'm going to go on some shorts. So we've set our alerts.
Yeah, so I was actually just answering someone now. Literally with that gold trade, we've actually got into that weekly demand again and held the support currently the whole time. So for me, we are holding, but as Chris has mentioned, I will also just want to see this hourly closure. And then basically after that, if it holds again over the hourly closure, I'll also look to go short.
Well, yeah, I'm also going to set some alerts just above this area right here, 185.11. That is where I'll potentially look for longs if my accumulation distribution gets in line with where I want to trade. So let's just call it SP structure break, weekly pivot. It's not Western Province, that is the weekly pivot. Right guys, I will be right back. Just want to run to the toilet. See you guys now. 8:30 till 11 o'clock Monday to Friday. Follow me on Instagram, leave a like and leave a comment.
Okay, guys, just so you are aware, I'm going to take the entry, but it is a high risk entry at this point, so I'm only going to be risking 0.5% on the trade.
Keys, bro, this FX replay might be a dangerous thing, eh?
Why do you say that?
Because I'm back testing now. And, if both of the trades played out that are obviously back tested, when was this? This was 2020. I would have passed the 300k challenge in 2 trades.
Yeah, but you know what the thing is, though? We can't sit there becoming those, if I did take this trade, if I did do this, it's all the what ifs.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, but like when you backtest like this, it definitely just reinforces like, when we pull out of a trade early or when
Yeah,
we get that FOMO that it's not going to hit TP. At the end of the day, you kind of just have to trust your rules.
I'm gonna have to bring that chair from home, or I would need to get some chiropractor appointments going. Yes. This chair. From the looks of it, no bottom wick on this hourly for GU. Yeah. Very, very interesting. So, do potentially think if we flip bearish, that we can target this wick fill all the way down here and potentially even continue lower.
yeah. Chris is just adding while you were gone. I did mention to the viewers though that I did enter my shorts on gold, but as it is kind of premeditated and high risk, I am only running 0.5%.
Where did you enter 190434?
190435.
What is your stop, Geeks?
Stop is 190615.
Okay, Geeks entered short here. Targeting back to Asia highs, but I do think if it comes back into the Asia highs, we can come all the way back here, like 1900 potentially.
Yeah, no, definitely can. So that's why I should trade just to monitor. But as like I did say, this is kind of premeditating, but that's why we load the amount we risk in here.
I would actually like for a weak bullish candle here, like weak bullish candle, and then for a stronger bearish candle. Again, top wick spiked that high, and then close like this, then I'm going to go short on this GU. Otherwise, I'm thinking flip on the hourly. Decisions. Let's just see where we are. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a sell stop just below this hourly candle on GU, and just grab this 15 pip stop, sell stop just below that low, and let's see if we can target is going to be the wick fill, so 12706, make it 12707. That is where I will be targeting. That is 12 pips. I'm going to go for 15 pips on this, but I will monitor after we fill the wick. And stop loss is 15 pips, so literally just above this current hourly high. So sell stops right here. On GU, and let's see if we can get activated. I'm still going to monitor the 5 minute. If I can get my setup to play out here close to the Asia lows, I'll execute here and delete the sell stops that we've got. But you do have the potential of this just flipping bearish and running, so I don't necessarily want to miss the trade. Yo, Flip, how do I get those sounds off? It's quite hectic. Let me just see sounds. Keeks, you don't know how to put off the sound, eh?
Unfortunately, not now, too.
Was that good?
No, the sounds when you like do something on MetaTrader like that, whoosh, oh, there, it's off now. Oh, thanks, Rika, I got it. It is off. Okay guys, so the other scenario is we get a bullish candle right here. We've got this potential support area right there, and then what I want to see is the next 5 minutes do something like this. Tiny little break of structure, and I will then execute shorts from there. I already have my sell stops just below this 5 minute candle. This was the hourly open. For now it is pushed straight up. However, one thing that I do need to note is that if we flip bearish on the hourly, I want it to be a very quick and fast move. If we do something where we start flipping bearish, we get triggered in and we start like hovering around this low here, I'll just close out immediately. I literally want it to be like a quick move. It needs to flip and it needs to drive. So just keep that in mind. If I see it like hovering there for like a minute, even like 2 minutes at this flip zone, then it literally came back to create a bottom wick to then go bullish again. So I want it to literally just drive down. I don't want it to pause after flipping bearish. So just want to make that quite clear before we get in. A rhyme, I'm gonna monitor the news. I'm gonna give this trade about say 8 more minutes, but 10 minutes before the event I will cancel all orders. I wouldn't necessarily trade into the event. Alright guys, I'm deleting these sell stops. The top wick on this hourly candle has extended 15 pips, so deleting that order. I'll see what we do at this level right here, but no positions for me on this. Gold also crossing into the 1905 area. So two things I potentially want to see here is either a nice bearish engulfing here at the 1905 area, or I want to see us starting to stall here, create maybe like a tiny little support of this area looking left, and if we then get like a break of structure to the downside, I will execute on the short idea. If not, no position for me here. Keegs and them took a half position trade, preempting the move back to Asia highs and potentially even lower, and also looking at the 4 hour. Where's the 4 hour candle? 4 hour coming into this potential area of resistance 190536, so flat body resistance there on the 4 hour candle as well. Yesterday 7 o'clock candle closed bearish, next one was bullish, this one is potentially going to close bullish, so we could expect bearish. Why is my bias bullish on the day? Let me just see what we had on the day. Okay, we had that big fall, but no bottom wick on the daily. Alright, perfect. So guys, if I get this 5-minute candle to do something like this, I am going short. Break of structure here. That is what I'm looking at. I'm going to execute short then. And 15 minutes before the news. Is that the right decision? Maybe not. Let's see. Rika, so what you need to remember is that the dollar is still the reserve currency of the world, and if you've got a risk off scenario where, for instance, the data that came out was bad, So if you go and look at stock markets around the world, like let's say for instance the FTSE, the DAX, they would potentially go down on that because it's showing a slowing economy. And how do you hedge against risk? You go into safe haven assets, and the safe haven assets we've got is gold, the other one is the dollar, and the other one is yen, JPY. That's why you saw JPY strengthening. That's why you saw gold coming up, and that's also why you've seen the dollar coming up. So it's basically safe haven bets, flows going into more safe haven currencies.
So I might be taking my first trade of the day on German 30. Chris, we can maybe just go to German 30.
Let me just quickly get it up here.
Okay, so then please go to the 3-minute chart.
Just want to prove the pivots quickly. Yes.
On the 3-minute chart, you would see that price has swept yesterday's high, swept Asia highs, came back into the Asian high, and it left a fair value gap on the 3-minute chart at 15,800. So once it taps into 15,800, I'm gonna smack them and go short.
Okay,
And then my stop loss is on just slightly above the wick, and then take profit 1 is the Asian low, and TP2 is yesterday's low.
Okay. You'll keep us updated there, Gemma.
Yes, I actually set a sell limit on 15,800.
Oh, you already have a sell limit?
Yes, I placed a sell limit. It's like 10 pips away.
But I think this is the cash price. Let me just get the DAX futures. DAX. What is this? What is the ticker you've got there muted, Jevon?
Sorry, 8 cap.
But on TradingView, where did you go? What do you have? On?
So I typed in GER30 and then I went to 8 cap.
Oh yeah, I've got it. Okay. Let me just add that for us. Oh, so 8 caps actually the cash index. I should delete that one.
So it's a very tiny fair value gap.
That one there. You're still muted, Jayman. Sorry, man. You're still muted.
Sorry about that. So yeah, like I said, it's a very tiny fair value gap. So I believe one price taps into it is going to take off from there.
Okay, guys. Jeevan's got a sell limit right here. 15,800 stops, just slightly above the highs. First target is going to be the session lows right here, and then the next target is going to be yesterday's lows down here.
Sorry, Chris, can I just ask Jevon a question?
You can.
So, Jevon, that fair value gap that you marked out there, is that I'm not too clued up with fair value gaps. Is that not one just below it as well? Because I don't know if you can just mark it out there.
Oh wait, sorry, could you just say the last part again?
No, he's asking, he said you've got a fair value gap there, but he's asking, is this not maybe the fair value gap here?
Oh no, I refined it to to the 3 minutes. So if I enter from here, my stop will be about 40 pips. So right now at that fair value gap, the stop is 31 pips, which is really too big for my liking.
Okay.
And also this trade is actually inspired by Ethan. Ethan actually has a method like this where you swipe the previous day's high and low, swipe the Asian high and low, come back into the Asian range, and then target the fair value gap and then target the weak lows or highs.
You're talking about Ethan Garland there, Jalen?
Yes, that's him. So if you go to his YouTube channel, it was like when he first started. So like I would say somewhere within his first 10 videos where he explains this. But yeah.
Sure, thanks, brother.
Signal was sent. GU. Yes, dude, it's just getting so close to those PMIs. Currently no orders on this. Let's see, I'll maybe wait for the PMIs to come out. Can maybe get a similar trade like what we've had with USD JPY, where we've got the advantage point with the wick. If it drives down here, it drives. I'm not gonna. How was the spreads during that news event? I didn't even check the spreads, but I'll check how the spreads are gonna be like 5 minutes into the event. GJ is still below, the accumulation distribution is still pointing bearish. I quite like this setup here where it has broken like this minor structure, but the 80 for me is not in line with what I want to do. It is a weekly pivot level, so again we could potentially now with PMIs coming out break those lows and then have a sharp reversal where the 80 comes back in line. Then I would consider it, but currently according to my trading plan and my rule set, no trade there for me. Only thing I like is these GU shorts, but I'm gonna have to wait for the news event to play out. Right, gold finding resistance here at S1. Nice little engulfing candle. I think what you would want to see now is for this thing to drive all the way back to Asia highs and then potentially close lower. Fail to get above 1905. Still looking good for the shorts right here. I do, however, think if we're going to start pulling back, remember we've got the daily no bottom wick, and if I look at where the daily bottom wick is, let's just quickly mark that out. So Asia lows, just below the Asia lows, so 1897 is no unrealistic target to target if you are in the shorts. 1897, that could be your target for the day. Okay, 4 minutes still news. Let's see where we are after that. Keeks, are you comfortable to hold gold through news?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with this, but not normal amounts or things like that. So a trade like this, I'm comfortable. And the fact that it isn't a dollar news event, I know it does have impact on it, but it's not nearly as much as, for example, the dollar PMI event will have.
So what Keegan would love to see is, as the news comes out, just like this waterfall, like a 5-minute candle like this, take partials, and then the next one like that.
Yeah, so either this thing in the next 5 minutes will hit TP, or we are gonna go kablowy. But again, just add that it's like everyone must always remember, like with trading, it's always nice to win, but you are going to have losses. In saying that, every trade you take, you need to be prepared of the risk that you might lose. And in a way, you kind of fall mentally in the psychology side, like you need to be okay with that. Like you really 100% need to be okay with that. Because when you start taking these losses that you didn't want, that's where it starts throwing you off.
Chris, I just wanted to emphasize on something you said yesterday. I think a lot of the time as traders, you kind of almost half, in a sense, give up on your strategy when you lose 2 to 3 times. I mean, you take a big moral knock. And at the end of the day, I think people have to realize, I mean, we spoke about it yesterday, you kind of need to have data collected on your strategy and actually have a proven result. Because at the end of the day, if you think that your strategy is going to work once or twice, and at the end of the day it does, and then you think, okay, no, this thing's going to work, and then you lose 2 to 3 times, jump to the next strategy, then at the end of the day, it's going to take you a hell of a lot longer to reach profitability. So I think one thing that people, the viewers watching, definitely just have to keep in mind is next time you feel like you need to swap a strategy or go to the next one, go back test and actually just get some data, physical data that you can reflect on, not just your emotions. And I think that's what, almost 80% of traders that fail do, is they never actually have proven data to show that their strategy is a winner or a loser.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's about mental reinforcement, and if you're taking the same position over and over, and you say I've taken that setup like 200 times or 300 times, and you know more or less what your result is on it, then there's no stress. But if you constantly falling around and not knowing what, you literally gapped. You see, that's what I wanted to see on the hourly, but I think I would have gotten slipped just looking at the price feed on the broker. But broken down on stream about the hourly, how no bottom wick, there was the flip, and there is the drive. Even if I still had the sell stop, just looking at this thing literally teleported to 12693. But analysis played out. We gave the bias. I said I wanted a failure from the Asia lows. We got that. So let's see if we can get a nice pullback on this 5 up until here, close to the weekly pivot, leave a nice bottom wick. We're going to execute exactly the same as to how we executed on USD JPY. And let's see. Let's see how the data came out. Obviously negative. Geez, look at that. Sea of red. Massive miss on the PMIs, all 4 hitting below consensus. So let us see. German 30. German, you guys get tagged in? I think
update quickly with what I'm doing is, because there is a little bit of a move, and again, this was a high risk trade. Just for everyone that is with me on the trade, I am just setting my stop loss to break even, just to have that breather, knowing it is a high risk trade.
Okay, stops are at break even on gold. We'll monitor that. Jeevan, are you guys in? Not? Just want to update the lads.
So actually, yes, I executed manually because it was so close, but I entered the very, very small position. So if I do still get tapped in, then it's fine. But the way it's looking, it doesn't seem like that wick. I'm so scared we don't get tapped in. So I actually entered a very small position, so we don't get tapped in. Can use the pending orders. And yeah, and I'm actually seeing that GU and GJ are at our zones of interest. Just waiting now for a valid entry so we can go long on them.
You see what I mentioned here, guys? AD was below, even though it's at a weekly pivot. I can't go long if the accumulation distribution is pointing bearish. So now after this spike, if we come all the way back up above the weekly pivot and my AD starts flipping bullish and we start seeing something like this, I will look for longs. Other than that, GU wick fills, that is what I'm looking at below the 12700. Let's see, pullback. If we can get a pullback to here at least, gonna execute shorts. So let's lock it in. Let's see if we can get another position. Getting some beautiful movements here this morning. As I mentioned, it was going to be a volatile day.
Not for the shirt, for something else. The reason.
Very little to no bottom wick, guys. I'm not going to execute on this. I would have loved for it to pull back to at least here, give us a bottom wick to fill. I'm not going to execute. Potentially what I'll do is I'll wait for NYSE later if we pull back. So we've had two sharp moves down. If we can come back later to this weekly pivot zone and the accumulation distribution is still bearish, I will consider it. I had the idea of the hourly wick fill, but again, I would have been slipped to pieces on it. So very good decision to not keep it in, even though it worked out. And then pound yen as well, no wick to fill. If you trade with me after news events, the 95% win rate on news trading, waiting for the first 5-minute candle, and let's say it pulls back up all the way to here, still closing bearish, massive wick, the easiest money you'll ever make in your life. Little top wick, sell stops on the flip, and you can target that wick fill, but this for me is a no-no. Let's quickly look at DXY. DXY back at the session highs, GU at the session lows. Nothing for me further. Gold, what I want to see with gold is if we can push back up to 1905 and then get a structure break, something like this. So if we can form support here, I would then definitely consider shorts. Other than that, for me personally, it is still short. I just want some structure to trade from. And then GJ potentially later on can get some sells back at the weekly pivot, but in terms of setups, we only had the USD JPY trade, and US 30 I'm going to monitor a little bit later this afternoon. I actually caught a nice little short of this area right here yesterday. Just want to show you guys. So I entered my first short position on the close of this candle. It was bearish, closed below the pivot. We had this little structure break right there. Let me just show you at that little structure break. Then after this candle pulled back up to the 50%, I added another short right there. And on this candle low, I basically closed out for a 3% gain. My stops were 40 points. Actually moved all the way down to S1 or very close to S1, but I'm looking for something similar potentially today if we get it. So just letting you guys know for a little bit later. Chris, how can we join the trading session for New York Open? That's actually just a group of elite traders. If you can find out how to get in there, you will be in there. But there's no clear guideline as to how to get in. That is unfortunately the thing.
It's the VIP club members.
That is for VIP. So if you manage to get in, you will know how to get there. Other than that, it is purely on invitational basis only.
But just on thoughts, I mean, how many people would be interested in seeing the New York sessions?
Jason Larkin wants to be in the New York sessions. So Jason, actually on your on the chat, there's actually a code. Like if you go to the emoji button, and I'm going to give it once, and I'm not going to give it again. It's 3 peaches, then it's 2 fist pump emojis, then it is 1 arm pump emoji, and then 3 peaches again. And then you will get an automated message. It's not going to be visible to all the guys, but that is how you will get the invite for the NYSE sessions. So I'm going to give it to you guys once more. 3 peaches in the chat, 2 fist pumps, 1 arm pump, and then 3 peaches again. Try it and let me know if it works. That is how we've set up the NYSE sessions. And you will then get the embedded link. So obviously nobody wants to get into the NYSE sessions because I'm not seeing any peaches there, but let's see. Good morning, Jared. Yeah, Jared, you missed quite a bit of action this morning. Some very good analysis. Three peaches, 2 fist pumps. A rhyme. The thing is, you have to do it in separate messages. What you did there was correct, but it needs to be in 3 separate, actually 4. So Rhymes got it right. Oh no, sorry, Rhyme, not guys, I'm fucking with you. If you want to see NYSE sessions, follow me on Instagram in the link. It's in the description of the video. Is it in the description? It's not. That is weird, but I love it. Thank you guys for posting those peaches. Now we'll do NYSE sessions. I will see how the schedule looks for next week, or potentially for the start of next month. We actually had a chat about it yesterday to get the NYSE sessions going as well, because for me, I would say the first hour after the open, if I don't get a trade after that, I call it. So the high probability trades are going to be within that hour. So think of some names. Let's get some name suggestions for that. So this stream is currently called the opening bell, because that's the first opening bell for us that live in the southern hemisphere, and obviously also northern hemisphere. But are we calling it power hour? Keeks, Hein, what do you think? Power hour, or do we call it something like full margin? The afternoon bell. All right. Not bad. Let's get some suggestions. Javen, just remind what's the name there so we can add my IG. Actually, all of us, Keegan, Hein, and Javen's IG handles in the description. Just need to add that peach run, power peaches. I love it. So going with the peach special, or
I like that, the peach special.
The peach special, peach run. Peach special. Feel free to throw some names still in there, and we can see where we are.
I think I've got one. How would we call it? Dusk to dollar.
Dusk to dollar. I also dig that, dusk to dollar.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
ChatGPT is helping out here, or we can call it. What does this one say? Afternoon Currency Chronicles.
Afternoon. But we're only going to be trading USDT on that.
How about enter the matrix?
We're trying to exit the matrix, not enter the matrix.
We're making our own matrix.
Don't get clapped session.
Clap City.
We can call it clap or get clapped. So gold did break even, starting to pump up here. GBP USD starting to make its retrace. DXY potentially double topping here. Alright guys, I think that is the crux of the session. We'll start getting some pullbacks closer to NYSE. Gold still making that move higher. We've got this daily level here, 4-hour level. The 4 hours going to close. I actually quite like this bumping up. Again, if we can get some type of structure being formed here and then a break, I would still consider shorts. It is still short for me. We're diverging with price and the AD. Not ending the stream, just letting you know that the high probability setups are gone. The only thing I would say that's still potentially a high probability is gold. So I'm going to lock it in with gold here and see where we are in the next 15
if you look
minutes.
at gold now, even possibilities, I'd even say start looking at if the way it's moving. Something I've noticed was, for example, the 7 o'clock candle when it closes and when the next 11 o'clock opens. If we are going to turn around and we set a nice high, most of the time we will take out the previous high. So if this closes how it is now, for example, I would actually like to see there's another key level at 1906. That's our last area before this thing flies. So I'd actually like to, if it does turn around, look at going short in that 1906 area.
I agree. So 4 hours closing in literally 14 minutes. How do I type 4 hour? Okay, 4H. So 4 hour is going to close. So what Keegan is referring to, if the 4 hour closes like this, we'll most probably the next 4 hour will open up, we'll push up, break the highs, flip bearish, and come all the way back down. Similar to exactly what we had here, we've discussed this multiple times on the streams. 7 o'clock 4 hour closing bullish, we break the high, we flip bearish, we drive down.
Because that's a perfect example, literally there on the left of your screen. That big bearish engulfing candle took out the high, and as you say, yes, 1905 is the key area, but those candles are wicking above them, and they're still closing below 1905. So until we get a candle closure above 1905, I'll go long. But just because, for example, we are talking of trading in and going short at 1906, doesn't necessarily mean we want to go long yet. That is still, like I was saying, just a wick and taking out the highs.
Justin, nou, jy was nou al so baie by die kantoor, maar ons het nog nooit 'n Seattle koffie gesien. Ek het nog nie... Hy het gister Seattle's hier gebring, het gelyk asof ons 'n Seattle franchise het. So ek sê maar net.
I hope you call the afternoon podcast Trading the States.
Trading the States.
Yeah, because it's US session.
Trading some sick names.
So I just want to say something quickly. To those maybe who took the pending orders that I said, delete those pending orders. And if you did execute, when I said I executed, you should be in profit. Once we have a break below structure, we can start modifying our stop loss towards our entry point.
Zach really is the silent assassin, isn't he?
Justin, actually, if you can ask JP there was this mixed berry on ice flavor that I bought last time, so I wasn't able, I got this, but it's not great, it's pretty cuck. So if you can bring that mixed berry on ice, 25 milligram, Nick, that would be sweet. I'll pay you back, obviously, for the juice, but the coffee's on you.
Hey, you were still JP, you must hook us up with some vapes there. We'll
Dude,
do a
I
promo
said-
for him on the live.
Ja, en 'n coil sal ook nie bad wees, to be honest. We still pay full price there at Vaporite. Alright guys, so as Javon mentioned, he entered a little bit below this. He actually did say he's taking a position, he's scared of missing it. So, as he mentioned, once we start breaking structure down here, then he's going to start moving his stops. But well done if you took the DAX trade. No family discount. Gold. Yeah, Keeks, we'll have to wait for that 4 hour to pop the highs.
Yeah, this close, I'm not going to take anything now. I'll wait for that 4 hour, see if it confirms. And it's almost like it's becoming like a little rule. If it is going to play out how we want it, it will go bearish if we have faith, but it needs to take out the high, not just equal it.
Yeah, I agree. Again, thank you guys for joining. Really appreciate the support. I think organically we're growing the channel quite well in terms of concurrent viewers, in terms of views on the live stream. We're going to start clipping some of the highlights from the stream as well, start posting those to Reels, because there's been some very good questions in the streams, also some very good breakdowns as well in terms of how to analyze price, how to analyze candles forming, for instance 4-hour candles, hourly candles, spotting no bottom wicks, wick fills, all of that. So, and then ultimately we are partnered with Vault Markets, and we are going to do a course and a strategy course as well, basically disclosing all of my strategy, trying to make it as easy as possible for newcomers. There'll obviously be like some gatekeeping for that. You'll have to deposit, say, a minimum, which I do not think is unfair because you get a lot of value, and then you will get access to that educational suite. And then later on, that idea is to potentially form some type of community on Discord, but at this stage we don't want to start something that we cannot commit to or do it half-heartedly. There's another project that's also launching within the next 2 weeks, and slowly but surely we'll build layers onto the community. The first thing obviously is getting here on time every day, streaming live for you guys every day, and layer by layer we'll add a lot of content to help our traders. That's ultimately the idea. I will never be selling anything, but Heine's got a mentorship, Jevan's got a mentorship, Keegan is just one strong dude in the streams trading gold.
I'm going to charge you guys petrol fees.
He's going to charge petrol fees. So I'll get all of their IG handles in the description from tomorrow. So if you are looking for mentorship, either from the Silent Assassin, Jevan Shaw, or the Young Market Maker in Hein, you guys can go check that out. We also had a discussion to potentially combine all of that and do something like a trade up. But we'll see. The big thing is just providing value for the traders out there, and ultimately just to create some community. There are also some very good streamers on YouTube, but we obviously want to create our own culture, our own brand, and our own identity in terms of trading. So we don't necessarily want to copy what somebody else is doing, but at the end of the day, if we can continuously provide value, the community will grow. There's no two ways about it. And that's why I don't necessarily want to start the NYSE stream if we can't keep up with it. So I don't want it to be like a hit and miss. We do it 1 week and then the next week we're too busy. So we'll make a plan. We'll get that set.
Alright, gents, I'm gonna love and leave you. I'll see you guys in the office in the next like hour or so.
Sweet.
You don't have to check them.
You don't have to bring Seattle's again, eh? Otherwise you're gonna have to like start a Seattle fund.
You guys are gonna start digging into my pension fund if I bring every time.
Sweet, man.
Let's go. I'll see you guys.
Sweet, man.
Cheers,
See you
everyone.
later. Thanks, man.
And actually, on that note, Chris, I don't know if Justin messaged you. What is your Seattle order?
I would like an oat milk cappuccino, tall, 2 sweeteners.
Right, there we go.
Alright guys, good session, good trade here on USD JPY, very good analysis on the rest gold. Remember what we said, this 4-hour closes in 3 minutes. If you can get some type of liquidity sweep to the upside and then potentially either get some type of engulfing candle closing back inside of this range, very nice shorting opportunity. The other scenario is pushing outside of this range, pulling back, creating like some type of bullish candle right here, and then a break of structure. That is also an option, and then you execute on the close of that candle. The rest, wait for the pullbacks for NYSE, go with the trend, GBP USD, weekly pivot, 12713. This is an area that I'll monitor later on during NYSE. Also, as I mentioned, I'm still looking short on the indices. I do think we're going to have a massive move today. Also, PMIs later this afternoon. You've seen the Eurozone PMIs, what they've done to the currencies. For instance, GBP, JPY, almost a 180 pip move to the downside. So that is it, guys. We're going to obviously wait 2 minutes because we did say 8:30 till 11. But really appreciate you guys being here. If we're going to get some peaches in the chat, I think that's going to be our trademark as we end the stream. And if we get a winner, peaches in the chat, spam those peaches in the chat for us. And we will see you guys on the next one. Love it, peaches in the chat. Peach Nation, Keeks.
So just a quick update before we go. Looks like our trade is almost at break of structure, so just keep an eye on that if you did take it, and then modify your stop loss slightly above entry, and then just wait for your TPs to hit.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Jevon Shaw, aka the Silent Assassin. Thank you, Keegan, the immovable object. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining.
Take it right, guys.
See you tomorrow.